Hey everybody, Rich Monroe here with BNB Investing Group. Thanks for jumping on this week. BNB Investing Group is a mastermind that helps investors kind of navigate the short-term rental model. We have investors that are looking to do rental arbitrage, investors that are buying properties and rehabbing them, as well as folks that are managing short-term rentals. And so we kind of help navigate those different options. We really like working with folks that have got that burning desire to make a major change in their business. And so, we actually are running a promotion this week. We're looking for 5 investors to work with, and definitely want to have folks that are kind of wanting to grow their short-term rental business and scale and develop that monthly cash flow. And so with that, this week I've got Arow on with us, and we're going to be talking all about staging and setting up your property as a short-term rental. For those of you that are just jumping on, if you could please give me a quick yes in the comments if you can hear us okay. And then we're also going to save some time towards the end for any questions that everybody might be having. So Arow, thanks so much for jumping on, and please give us a brief introduction about your background.
Hey everybody. I have a degree in interior design and was working in the interior design industry for several years. And then in 2004, I took the staging course and added that to my business model and have been working obviously ever since. I've grown my business from just a solopreneur to a business with 7 stagers, 8,000 square foot warehouse, 2 warehouse technicians, a 20-foot box truck, and we roll along every day with whatever furniture rentals there might be out there.
So one of the definite keys to scaling a business is really to be able to, embrace partnerships that have core focuses and expertise like yourself. For example, if you get opportunities to have the need to set up a lot of properties in a short window of time, to be able to have that work handled by a core group like yourselves, I think is huge. So how does that typically work as far as, let's just talk about one property, I guess, and how the options work for the investor.
An STR, right?
Not just short-term rental.
Right. Okay. So the process we would take is your investor would give me a call, and we would swing by the property and do a preview and talk with that investor and find out what their needs are, what their thoughts are. Do they have a theme that they want to try to portray there? What's their beds and heads? What are they wanting to do? Any ideas at all? Some don't have any. Some have a specific style or theme, but others just say whatever's going to work. But we can do a preview and put together a proposal. And that proposal can be as much or as little as they would like for us to provide for them. We can do as much as the furniture, artwork, accessories, and rugs, linens for the beds, linens for the baths, and also the kitchen essentials, everything you're going to need to cook a meal, and specific to the beds and heads. So if it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, you could sleep 4 or 6. You want to have enough glasses and dishes to cover everyone so that they can sit down and have a meal at one time if they so choose. If it's a 5-bedroom and it sleeps 10 or 12, then you need to have as much seating in the living space as well and the dining space, and as much towels and kitchen essentials as you need for 10 or 12 people. So we can do as much or as little. Some people prefer to do kitchen essentials themselves, but others don't know what to do or where to go. So we can do the entire gamut for you. And the key thing is we will install it for you. So you won't have to worry about anything. We'll get it up and running for you. Once we're finished with our install, Then you guys come in and take pictures, put it up on your platforms, and you're ready to go and get guests in there, get some revenue flowing.
Okay, very cool. And so on the linens and the towels, do you have like a standard default count that you typically start with as a package?
Yes, we recommend that in the bed linens that you have at least 3 sheets, for example, for each bed, and that allows you a set of sheets on the bed, a set of sheets, extra sheets in the owner's closet, and then the other set rotating out, being washed by your cleaners. So that's the minimum amount that we recommend. Some people don't want to go that deep. Others want to go deeper. So it just depends on how quickly your cleaners can get back in with that extra set. But that's the minimum amount with your sheets.
Yeah. What about the towels?
The towels, I recommend, and if it's a short-term rental versus mid-term rental, with your short-term, and they're going to be there, say, for 3 days or so, at least 2 bath towels per guest, 1 hand and 1 washcloth. So, but that's for use right then. And then you want at least that many in the owner's closet and that many rotating for in the wash.
Oh, okay. And did you recommend 3 sets of that as well?
Yes. So 3 sets. So it'd be 2, 1, and 1 for each guest.
Okay. Now,
so that would technically mean 6, 3, and 3.
Right. And so for those of you that are kind of just starting out, you know, the linens and the towels are really an important part of the business. And, you know, we usually, recommend standard white, of course. There's a reason why hotels do that. It stays cleaner, a lot easier, and it's easy to tell if there's something wrong with them. And so, when you're working out your budget to stage your property in the beginning, it's like Arrow's pointing out, it's critical that you have the correct count involved, and making sure that you've got not only enough for the one guest stay, but as you basically have guests come and go, and the cleaners are turning that property to make sure there's enough inventory. And so typically, especially on a 5-bedroom house, that's going to be a significant part of your budget that a lot of times people overlook. And so, I mean, you could very easily get into the, $2,500 to $3,000 range on linens and sheets. And that includes, pillows. Are you also providing pillows and comforters as well, Arow?
Oh, yes. Okay. So we'll do bed pillows. We also do mattress protectors and all bed pillow protectors, so that those can be cleaned and not worry about the bed pillow itself or the mattresses. But we do the blankets, as well, and that can be as deep as you want as far as quantity. And the bedding, the comforter, you want to wash those as well. So you want to have those, and we usually provide a quilt style bed cover, because it's easy to move on and off, easy to remove for the cleaners, and wash as well. Quick in anybody's washer. You don't have to have an industrial size for that. So those definitely need to be cleaned like the sheets.
Right. And so, and you also mentioned, a key important thing that a lot of people overlook as well is the bed bug protector, as well as the protectors for the pillows. Pillows can get pretty nasty very quickly if you don't have a protection on there that you can also wash with the laundry. And so, obviously, the importance of the bed bug protector, with travelers coming and going, there will be a risk, or there will be an incident of bed bugs where it's being brought into the house. And so the bed bug protector on every single mattress is definitely going to kind of, help out with that, or kind of minimize that risk. Right. Okay. And then, so we've got, our kitchen essentials. So on the kitchen, what's your standard package for that?
So we provide, let's say it's a 2-2, so you can sleep as many as 6. we would make sure we have at least 12 plates, 12 glasses, so that if they've had a meal with everyone, they can be washing those and have another meal without having to empty the dishwasher. So we try to have at least 2 per guest for each unit. And then that's plates and glasses. But for cooking, we have a full set of pots and pans. We even have nice storage containers. So if they're there for any length of time and they have extra leftovers or whatever, they can eat them. They can put them in something, but eat it before they go. And mixing bowls, spatulas and that sort of thing. Also baking dishes, because sometimes you're going to have a short-term rental, but also a midterm rental. They may be there over a week, so they may want to bake some muffins, for example. So we always provide those types of things as well. So we have coasters, we have wine glasses, wine bottle openers, can openers. We have all those sorts of things. So if anybody has anything like that, they can get into their cans, can opener, and be able to cook a meal without having to get frustrated, without being able to open something or cook it in something.
What about coffee makers and toasters?
Absolutely.
Provide
Depending
that as
on
well?
the size unit, we'll either have a 2 toaster unit or a 4, and we'll either have a Keurig or a full coffee pot, depending on the size unit.
Okay. And then to back up a minute on the 2-bedroom sleeping 6, just so everybody kind of knows the standard, especially if the space allows for it, when you're doing a short-term rental, no matter what this number of beds is, even if it's a 1-bedroom, if you have enough room in the living room area or another office den area, you typically want to include a queen sleeper sofa. It's all about how many people can stay at that reservation. You can actually charge more on your nightly rate. And so in the example of a 2-bedroom that would standardly comfortably sleep 4 people, you typically want to also add a queen size sleeper sofa and have the ability to sleep 6. And what you can do as well, which is an option on the listing, is you can actually charge a higher nightly rate if you have more than 4 people. And so each person above those 4 people will then pay an additional $35 per night per person, for example. And then, it covers some of the additional work that's going to be involved with cleaning and turnover and stuff like that. Right. But it's another revenue event. And so every time you start out with your staging plan and looking at the layout, that's one of the first things you want to try to confirm. And the other kind of pro tip default, a lot of people try to put, king size beds in master bedrooms or bedrooms that are large. Our standard, unless it's a luxury or a higher end property, I mean, we do have kings in those properties, but if you're looking at kind of a standard fare, you typically want to try to keep everything consistent. And so that you don't have, fitted, single sheets or king sheets that are commingled with queen sheets. And so you're going to standardize your, queen sleeper sofa. If you do have a large bedroom that can fit comfortably, not squeezed in there, but if you can do it comfortably, we also do 2 queen beds in a room, which kind of adds more head count. Right. And so, what do you recommend on mattresses? That's a big, important part, obviously, of the guest experience and making sure it's a comfortable mattress. What are your thoughts there?
We have a wholesale supplier, and we get them obviously at the wholesale pricing, so we can extend that discount to the investor, and that's across the board, no matter where we get things. But mattresses are awesome. They are the memory foam. It's a brand that I have on my bed myself, so it's very comfortable. And so that's a source that I always use. And like you said, you want to try to be consistent with your size of beds in your units, because your cleaning crew will be angry with you if you've got 3 different kinds of beds, or even 4. You could, because kings and queens are difficult to determine just when you're holding them up, if they're not written on there on the tag or something. But yeah, we do always recommend queens across the board if possible, to make it easy on storage and easy on the cleaning crew, like I said, but purchasing and washing, and the whole big picture. So, but for the luxury market, you do want to have the larger mattresses, like you said. That was definitely a bonus, a plus for that.
Definitely, sure. So let's talk about the decoration items. You'd mentioned, pictures, lamps, end tables, rugs. What are your recommendations there as far as that goes in terms of, the look?
Well, if there's a theme at all that the investor would like for us to follow on any given unit, we will certainly do that. A lot of people like a pop of color. Yellow looks good on photos, but a pop of color, whatever it is, textures look good. So our pillows usually have some kind of texture, not necessarily patterns, but definitely texture, but definitely a pop of color. We always have rugs where we can, where there's seating. We don't normally put rugs in the dining spaces, just for cleanliness there. You don't know who's coming in, so you want to be careful. But we also put rugs in each bedroom. 5x7 always goes under a queen, and an 8x10 goes under a king. In your living rooms, we usually do an 8x10s, because that'll fit with the sofa and your chair, all your seatings. But the artwork is always very important too. That's a key thing for Under the Willow, whether it's a staging, fix and flip unit, or STR, or whatever it is. But the artwork is very important in pillows. And we have minimal accessories on the tabletops, because they'll bring in their personal items, the remote controls and that sort of thing on the coffee table. And on the bedside tables, we always try to have 2 bedside tables, because if you're sleeping 2, each person's going to want to have a lamp and a bedside table, so that they can put their phone or watch or whatever they have. So minimal accessories on countertops, but definitely a pop of color in the artwork, rugs, and pillows.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at your full budget, you definitely do not want to skimp or kind of discount what you're spending on decor and artwork. It's 90% of the decisioning when folks are perusing property options and trying to book your property. They're looking at listing pictures, and if you don't have that money shot that shows your living room or your dining room or your bedrooms with colors that are popping and art that looks like it's not something that was just picked up at the local discount store, you definitely want to kind of spend a little bit more on the artwork piece to make sure that you're getting that competitive advantage, and having that different customized feel, for sure.
Right. Absolutely. So one thing we touched on a while ago was the beds and heads and seating for them. So if it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it sleeps 6, your dining table needs to have six seating at it. But you also, in your living room, you need to have the ability to seat 6 there as well, and on and on and on. If you've got sleeps 10, you need to have 10 places to sit and dine, or sit and be casual. So we always try to be very conscientious of that, and hopefully there's space for that in the living room with these higher beds and heads, higher count there. So
okay. And then on What about outdoor furniture options? Do you provide that as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have all sorts of options there. That's can be more challenging to seat as many as your beds and heads, depending on your outdoor sizes. If it's a deck, for example, or a closed-in patio, and you're limited to that space, we maximize that as much as we can. But sometimes that is challenging to seat as many as you've got. But we absolutely do those spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the same thing there. You don't want to really just get the cheapest ones. You want to be a little bit thoughtful about the quality of the way that it's going to present
Right.
itself, because those typically make good listing pictures as well for the
Yeah.
kind of the ability to have the outdoor space.
And it extends your square footage, so you always want to accentuate that.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Okay, now what about just so that we have everything covered? Do you provide anything for the electronics that are involved with
Well, sure.
setting up? So
Sure.
you'll okay. How does
We
that
can
work?
do TVs. As far as your Vivint and all that sort of stuff, the investor will need to take care of that because they have different opportunities with all of the um, video and audio and all that sort of stuff. But TVs for sure, and we'll even install them for them if they want. We can do them and mount them for them, or obviously put them on the console table. So whatever their choices are.
Okay, and so walk us through an example. If I've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, it's completely empty. I just bought it or I just leased it, and I want to get it set up for short-term rentals. We meet at the property. We talk about what we want to do. It sounds like you provide, kind of a full turnkey service, but it also sounds like you could kind of, if I only wanted certain things to be supported, then we could kind of cherry pick it that way. Is that right?
You can, yes.
Okay.
So just let me know up front when we go to preview, and we can provide that proposal with whatever it is you're wanting.
All right. And then from a timing perspective, how long does it typically take from start to finish to get a unit fully set up and ready for me to take my listing pictures and go live?
So it does depend on the size unit it is. If it's a 5-bedroom, it's going to take us a little longer to acquire some of the pieces. If it's a 2-bedroom unit, obviously we can get that more quickly. We do have quite a bit of furniture as well as kitchen essentials in our warehouse now. We do have pieces that we rotate out of the trending staging inventory. So we slide that into the STR department. So if we can take things out of that department, then it won't be your full price fees for if we purchase brand new. All of this furniture has never been used, as it were, because it has been staged and not lived on. So it's still got a new, it's all clean and all that stuff. But if we can take it from the inventory we have, that's obviously a quick access. Mattresses and that sort of thing we will be purchasing, but they are local and we can go get those immediately. So again, 2 weeks typically for a smaller unit, and the larger it gets beds and heads, the a little more, add a week here and there to take care of all the extras.
So between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the size.
Typically, yep, typically.
Okay. And then how does the pricing work? Is it a pass-through expense for the cost if you're buying brand new, or walk us through how the pricing works?
So we will extend, like I said, the wholesale discounts we do get. There's a staging fee, as it were, an install fee, so we can get it all there for you and set it up. Standard national fees are about $20 a square foot. Mine is not quite that high. It's $18 to $19 a square foot. So if it's easy math, 1,000 square foot unit, it'll be about $19,000 to set that up. you can do the math on that depending on what size your square footage your unit is. But I do have special pricing or additional pricing for that. I have 3 options. So in any option you choose, there's a 50% down payment, and then that's due at contract signing, and then we'll get started on working on that unit at that time. And then once we do the install, payment option 1 is paying that 50% balance on install date. And then option 2 is breaking that balance, that 50% balance, into 6 monthly payments. So that'll give the investor 6 months to get that unit up and running and get some revenue flowing. And then option 3 is 12 months payments. And there's a little bit of an upcharge for each of those, just because we won't be able to get our completion dollar balance out in the beginning. But it's a minimal fee for that. So it's worth, I would think, every penny of that so that you can get your unit up and running. So any choice you want there, option 1 through 3.
Okay, very cool. And just so that I'm clear on the ballpark pricing. So if I had a 1-bedroom unit, what's that going to run me?
Depends on your square footage.
Let's say it's a very small 1-bedroom, like 600 square feet.
Well, let's see.
So you're just doing the $19 times 600?
Right.
Okay. So 11,400.
Sounds good.
And that's everything.
Right.
Turnkey.
Right.
Okay.
And then there is the install fee on top of that. So that covers the furnishings we bring in.
Okay. And then what's the install fee typically?
Well, it depends on that. I'm going to say that could be around $2,000 up to, it could be as much as $4,000 depending on how many rooms, beds and heads, and that sort of thing.
Right. So if it's just a small 1-bedroom, what's the setup fee for that?
It'll probably be about a little under $2,000.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And then, if I needed to do this with, like we've had cases where we've had 4 units at a time, or even 8 units at a time that we're setting up within the same amount, same period as quickly as possible. Are you able to handle that kind of volume to help?
Yes, we can. We could get everybody on board and get it rolling, and we deliver each one independently, obviously, and get each one set up. If there's an order that you need them, or if they're all in the same facility, then whichever one you want done first, we can do that in priority. So
got it.
Depending on the size, sometimes we can do more than one in one day, depending on the size. But
okay. Well, and yeah, I mean, so if you're scaling a business and you're needing to add a lot of units, the financing option is attractive as well. As you mentioned, you can start generating revenue and kind of be able to kind of take care of that over 6 months or 12 months and not have it all paid up front. And so if you're doing multiple properties at the same time, that's definitely a beneficial help as well. And so you historically, you've kind of, like most staging companies, your core business has been staging real estate properties that are for sale, on the market. And then it seems as though, the short-term rental space has kind of opened up an opportunity for companies like yourselves, because like you mentioned, you may have inventory kind of sitting idle, and you can definitely put it to use, and investors can kind of take advantage of your core competency and your expertise in decor and setting up properties.
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting close to the end here. I saw a few comments earlier, but I'm not seeing any questions. If you guys are interested in getting in touch with Arow, she is in the Georgia market. I think in most places, Atlanta Metro, as well as certain parts of Georgia. She will expand into other markets depending on the opportunity as well. But if you have an interest in learning more about more specifics about her service, I'll send me a direct message or send a message here in the chat, and I'll send you her contact information along with her website as well. And she's able to provide a $100 discount, for working with BNB Investing Group members. So, I appreciate it, Arow. Any other things that we haven't covered so far?
I think we got everything.
All right. Well, thank you so much for jumping on and taking the time to spend with us.
Absolutely.
Just to remind everybody, BNB Investing Group helps investors get started with short-term rentals. If you're interested and want to grow a scalable business and you're hungry to make a big change, feel free to reach out to me on Messenger as well, and we can schedule a call to see if that's something that might be a good fit for you. So, Arow, thanks again so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.